So I finally got to ride a motorcycle I have wanted to ride for a very long time. Today, we're going to be talking about the Moto Guzzi V7 Racer. The other day, I was at Triumph of Waukesha reviewing the Triumph Speed Triple RS, and I saw that they had a Moto Guzzi V7 in stock. If you know, you've watched my channel in the past, you know I've talked about this motorcycle and talked about how I always wanted to buy one. And I said, ooh, will you let me ride it for a video? Maybe, just maybe, I might end up pulling the trigger. Well, they said they already had a couple people looking to buy it, so unfortunately it's probably spoken for, but they allowed me to ride the bike for a test ride. I was able to take the motorcycle down the street, and I wanted to give you guys some facts and statistics that I've learned about the bike that I really had to dig up. For some reason, no matter if I went to a Moto Guzzi dealership, no matter if I searched for the information online, I could not find specific year differences, the differences between the Racer 1, Racer 2, Racer 3, what this bike was really about. I went to a few Guzzi dealerships and said, yeah, we get them every once in a while. Another one said, I have no idea what bike you're talking about. And I'd be like, hey, you know, I understand you get these bikes, but what's the difference between this? What's the difference between this? And they said, we have no idea. For some reason, I couldn't find information on this motorcycle. But a couple of years ago, I dug it up, and here's the information that I have found. I ended up finding this information actually from Reddit. So I don't know how great this information is, but it seems like it's pretty reliable and pretty accurate. So for those who have no idea what the V7 Racer actually is, at the time in the late 2010s, a lot of manufacturers started making cafe racer versions or vintage aesthetically pleasing bikes compared to their regular motorcycles. Now the V7 was a model from back in the 70s, and they ended up creating a new version of it, and they made the Racer, which was like the cafe racer version of the standard V7. So the Racer actually came really early. I think 2011 was the very first year that they actually came out. Now, the main differences I want to refer to is the fact that there is a Racer 1, a Racer 2, and a Racer 3. I believe now these motorcycles are done with production, but again, no one really knows for some reason. So originally the motorcycles in 2011 were Racer 1s. They just had this cafe racer aesthetic to them, basically. The Racer 2 got all of these upgrades compared to the Racer 1. It gained a new cooling system, a new ECU, a new fuel injection system, alternator, and oil pump. And the primary difference was the fact that it got a 6-speed with a different ratio. The engine was also tilted 4 degrees forward, lowered by 10 centimeters, new foot pegs, and it also got about 3 more inches of knee room. These are really small, minute differences that, you know, most people, I don't know how this guy knows this. Apparently he was working for Guzzi at the time, so that's pretty cool. The seat was also apparently lowered just a little bit. It has different rear axle, and the output shaft was lowered by 50 millimeters. And they also got ABS and traction control. Now in the Racer 3, they did another major refresh and upgrading. Now these bikes will fall into very vastly different price points. You can find the Racer 1s for like $4,000 sometimes, but I've always seen the 3s closer to $7,000 or $8,000. All the upgrades in the 3 were new cylinders, heads, piston, oil sump, crankshaft, and improved ventilation, and it gained another 4 horsepower compared to the Racer 2, bumping it up to 52 horsepower. The clutch was lightened again, and it also got adjustable Öhlins, lower handlebars, a lower seat again, and is considered to be the best, and I definitely think it is the best. Now to me, the most important thing about the Moto Guzzi V7 was the chrome tank. If I was to buy one of these bikes, I would get one with a chrome tank. But for those of you who are like me, listen up. The Racer 1 and Racer 2 had plastic gas tanks. Plastic gas tanks would flake. The chrome would flake off the tanks. The Racer 3 has a metal gas tank. I tested this. The metal tank is metal in the Racer 3. So the chrome doesn't flake and peel like it did in the earlier versions. I think this motorcycle is absolutely beautiful. It looks a lot better than it rides. And, well, here is the ride I did a couple of weeks ago on the V7. This right here is a Moto Guzzi V7 Racer 3. The 3rd iteration is the best iteration, and we'll talk about kind of some of the differences between the 3 and the 2 a little bit later in this video, as well as the 1. But I really just want to get onto this bike. I've been itching to own and even ride a racer for a very long time. Before I even got my license, I have wanted to ride this bike. So here we go. I am finally getting the opportunity to hop onto this awesome machine in the ideal spec, might I mention, with the chrome tank. This one has the mirrors taken off. I believe it has a different rear seat
stock exhaust, and has a different tail there, but it usually has a cowl in the back, which they do have here at Triumph Waukesha. This bike is for sale, but by the time you guys are watching this, if I didn't buy it, someone else bought it. So here we go. Let's hop onto this bike. Very excited to not only ride a racer, but ride the best version of the racer with the Racer 3. Immediately, it is a very skinny bike, even with that big old V-twin hanging off of it, but it definitely feels a little bit heavier than that Triumph does. Odd clutch feel. I believe this is a cable clutch here, so let's fire it up. Takes a second to warm up. Okay, it's a little quirky. So we got a mode switch here. Not sure. Okay, it just changes that. It doesn't actually change modes like the Triumph does. This bike only has 2543 miles on it, so it's pretty new. Oh yeah, just like any shaft bike with the V-twin, she's got her shaft vibrations. All right, well, here goes nothing. I'm very excited. Okay, got a very immediate clutch grab there. This one has the mirrors taken off, so you got to be a little careful with it. Brand new tires on the bike as well, as I was told. The ergonomics immediately are very, very comfortable with this bike here. I do not feel like I'm super tucked. I believe everything on the bike that way is stock. That clutch definitely either needs to be adjusted or just getting used to it a little bit. This is a very odd motorcycle. Wow. Ergonomic wise, speaking with the bike, yeah, it's very, very nice. It's very comfortable to ride. The Guzzi engine rides like way different than I expected. This rides like an older machine, does not ride like a new machine. In the way the engine kind of revs up and sounds, it has an awesome analog feel to it right away, right off the bat. I think this bike needs some minor adjustments. It is like 8 years old or so. So, you know, I think the clutch could be adjusted. I think the throttle here could be adjusted a little bit. But besides that, I mean, it's riding really, really smooth. It honestly rides like an older machine. It doesn't ride like a modern machine, which isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing, actually. I love how older machines ride. I love how this bike looks, though. This bike has always been just absolutely a super high contender for me, just out of the looks department. Sitting onto the bike, compared to some of the other bikes in its class, I don't love it. Immediate impression, I don't love how this bike rides here. I'm not sure what it is about it. I think I might just have to gel with it. I did just get off a street triple, so getting onto a bike like this, you gotta ease into it. So I don't want to make that opinion right away. Very, very odd and different sensation here from the V-twin shattering beneath my legs. Lots of character on the V7 Racer here. I am finding myself to be now getting onto the bike, going at some lower speeds, a little bit uncomfortable on the motorcycle. Back's a little crouched, my feet are tucked pretty far behind me. Of course, it is less compromised than the Racer is, but for some reason the Racer feels a little bit more comfortable. I'm wanting to put way, way more pressure onto my wrists. I can definitely feel the length of the motorcycle. It has a very long approach, just like the Racer does. It feels really nice. I need to get it up onto some higher speeds and kind of out of the city here in order to enjoy it a little bit. But man, that rev kind of light is not, it's not fun. It's really annoying. Barely even revving it up. I mean, you get it to like 4,000 RPM and I think it starts flashing at you. There we go. I can already feel that the bike wants to live at some higher speeds. Much more comfortable getting it out of the city already. The bike has a really odd sensation. It's really not like anything I've ever rode. You get a lot of motor sounds with the head being right on your legs practically. It revs up kind of like a, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a V, it's almost like a VMAX, right? A VMAX without 2 cylinders. It kind of has a little bit of that grunt to it. Not quite like an RC51, not quite like my Buell either, with like a lot of low end kind of torque. Brakes are to be desired. I wish I had a little bit more bite on the brakes. See if we can open her up a little bit. Not the fastest bike in the world. Not as impressive as the BMW, or I'm sure the Thruxton is. Those are both bigger motorcycles. They have, you know, a lot more. It's a very enjoyable experience, just a nice kind of cruiser, not a performance-based motorcycle at all. It looks a little bit more sporty than it actually is. I'll definitely attest to that. It looks way more sporty than the bike is, but still a pretty fun machine. Look at that, man. This motorcycle is beautiful. It looks so good. I love Italian design. I love the red frame. I love the chrome tank. You guys can see me in the reflection there. This thing just looks so good. Does the bike ride as good as it looks? No. Actually, no. I'm a little disappointed. But I want to put a little bit more mileage before I say anything. I do want to put a little bit more miles on the bike and open it up a little bit more and kind of see what it's about here. It takes a second to grow on you. It really does. It takes a second to grow on you. Now that I've kind of had some miles under my belt with it, kind of understand it, and I'm starting to like it a little bit more and more. But like the first couple minutes being on this bike, I was like, I don't really love it. But you know, you get a lot of old motorcycle with this, kind of without some of the characteristics of old bikes. It has its own kind of Guzzi characteristic, as you would expect, but never being on a Guzzi took me a second. I didn't want to say anything, but you could kind of see and kind of hear a little bit as I was saying, kind of how I was saying it, like, I don't know if I love it, but I'm starting to like it more. I'm starting to like it more than I'm putting some miles on it. Sometimes bikes take a little bit to warm up. This bike took a little bit to warm up to me, I won't lie.
Now I know what you guys are saying. You guys have been seeing us wear these sick t-shirts all summer long, been wondering, yo, where do I get one of those? Well, they are now officially live on the VintageRacingClub.co official website. So yeah, my immediate impressions were, oh my god, this thing's a tractor. It's really not the best motorcycle in the world. It's quirky, it's weird, it shifts weird, it's very, I guess, old school. The gears kind of crunch, the clutch lever I absolutely hated. I think with minor adjustments, I could make the bike into something I would like a lot, but my first impressions were like, this thing is not good. But also, I had just come off a Street Triple RS, which was 10 of 10 motorcycle, and it made this bike feel really bad. I think if I was to get a second ride on it, I would like it better, because the more I rode it, the more I opened it up, the more I liked it. But it still was one of the worst motorcycles I had rode. And I hate to say it, because I loved this bike, but the BMW R9T Racer, it's a better bike in every single way imaginable. The V7 Racer is a good bike. If you've never rode a Guzzi before, I highly recommend, if you haven't rode one of these bikes, go ride it before you buy it. I'm very glad that I got the opportunity to ride it before I bought it, because it's made me not want one. Genuinely, this was a bike that, you know, if it was to be presented to me, I would go out and buy it like this at the right price. Now it's kind of a bike that, you know, maybe I'd like to own someday one day. I think it'd be a fun build for the channel, and I would like to modify one properly and make it suit me better. I think with some minor mods, some minor tweaks, it could be a much, much better bike. The one thing, one impression that still remains to me after everything, you know, it was a fun bike. It wasn't very fast. It was kind of doggy. It shifted weird, but, you know, it was still pretty fun. It's a motorcycle. But the clutch lever is square. It literally felt horrible squeezing the clutch lever. So my biggest complaint of that is the clutch lever, but still very doggy, very slow, very kind of like unenthusiastic motorcycle to ride. Apparently Guzzis are like this. I'd love to give Guzzi another try. Perhaps we try vintage Guzzi in the next video. But that's all I have for this one. That is some information about the Moto Guzzi V7 Racer that I could never find until I finally gave up and I asked Reddit. And Reddit delivered with these answers. I will link the question down below. There's a lot more information there for those who are interested, but those were the main things I wanted to highlight. If you're looking to buy one of these, get the Racer 3, but if you've never rode one, ride one because you might not like it. With all that being said, I know I'm about to get flamed by Guzzi enthusiasts, but our house teas are live on the Vintage Racing Club, so click the first link in the description, check us out, subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video.